It is the 14th of July 2025. Very warm welcome to UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Kyomugisha, and Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. Thank you so much for tuning in. We start off with President Sharon Museveni, who has called upon leaders to integrate Ugandans into the money economy. He was visiting a model farm in Ngoma sub-county Chimpanzee, accompanied by cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, and the Central Executive Committee of the NRM. This visit took place on the last day of the cabinet retreat at the National Leadership Institute in Chimpanzee.
During the visit, the president stressed the significance of household income in empowering citizens. The president commended the local community for their progress in transforming their livelihoods through dairy farming, which has helped to reduce nomadism and convert bushes into productive farmland.
So the improvement is that they are no longer moving around like the Karamojong. That's one improvement. Second one is that they accepted the enterprise of dairy as a business. Third, they did bush clearing in the farms by removing the bushes. There is a bad grass called Umtete, Afronadas Simbopogan. Then there is some shrubs called Obugando, Acacia Hohai. They removed all of those. That's why you find the areas are clear.
Despite these achievements, Museveni emphasized that there is still more work to be done to further improve the economic status of the residents.
This little thing they have done is just a small step in the right direction. But they can be much, much, much richer. And if they do that, these young people, instead of looking for clerical jobs in Kampala, they would be so much absorbed with this huge industry as shareholders. They will not be looking for office jobs.
George Matongo, a 64-year-old cattle keeper from Ngoma sub-county, shared his journey from traditional grazing to adopting improved exotic breeds.
His father died and left him 50
yes,
cows.
When his father died and bequeathed him 50 cows, 50 makumi yeah.
50 indigenous cows.
na diskun bremezi insekere mpango tinyo myatsi ntizakanya nagura hamataka gunyine nakona na weri taka.
Despite these successes, challenges still remain on board. Matongo mentioned the need for better pasture management and requested a tractor from the president to help in planting grass. President Museveni acknowledged the need for better infrastructure and services in the region.
The old man said he has got money, he doesn't know what to do with the money. And that they need a bank because they have a lot of money.
He also committed to working on providing a dedicated road unit and addressing health center concerns as raised by residents.
So therefore, that's why I said I'm going to give them the message to you is that please let our people get involved in the money economy. That's why I brought you here.
Residents also raised issues about dishonest land surveyors and the need for their own districts to better manage local affairs.
The collection centers we have now in this entire constituency are 68 collection centers. But the list is of the 5,000 capacity.
Honorable Enoch Nyongoro, the Member of Parliament for Nakaseke North constituency, supported these requests, emphasizing the need for improved road networks, veterinary services and power supply to support the dairy industry.
Production of milk changed our lives. Your Excellency, I remember in 2002, we had only 2 homesteads with Mabati, as you rightly say. That was Mzee Bagarkayo and Mzee Sanga, whose father, the chairman, is here. Those ones, they were the only one. But now, every homestead have got such good shelter or houses.
The President announced plans to provide 8 tractors to support agricultural activities. In closing, President Museveni praised the community for their resilience and progress, urging them to continue working towards economic empowerment and self-sufficiency.
And he's thanking the President for the guidance.
Rwandans living in Uganda flocked to the Rwandan High Commission in Kampala today to cast their ballots in the presidential and parliamentary elections. The elections, which kicked off early morning, were overseen by Rwanda's High Commissioner to Uganda, Colonel Joseph Rutabana. Samuel Senano reports.
Rwandans living in Uganda turned out in large numbers today at the Rwandan High Commission in Kampala to participate in their country's presidential and parliamentary elections. This process was overseen by Rwanda's High Commissioner to Uganda, Colonel Joseph Rutabana. Before the ballots were cast, Colonel Rutabana and the election officials took oaths, emphasizing their commitment to fairness and transparency in the electoral process.
I, Ambassador Joseph Rutabana, do solemnly swear to Rwanda that I will remain loyal to the Republic of Rwanda, abide by the Constitution and other laws, safeguard human rights and the interests of the Rwandan people, strive for national unity, diligently fulfill the responsibilities entrusted to me.
Speaking to the media shortly after, Rutabana highlighted the significant turnout of Rwandans residing in Uganda who registered to vote.
We registered more than 10,000, even more than that. But because of course, the logistics involved in their transportation, we are estimating to have today between 4,000 and 5,000. We have already the regulations established by the Electoral Commission. No one should come here with the colors of any party. So this station is non-partisan, so everyone is free to vote whoever he wants. Nobody is allowed to influence another. We are monitoring.
We also caught up with some voters shortly after casting their votes.
I have citizenship in Uganda. As I show you, as you have seen my certificate of citizenship. I got this certificate through marriage because I got married with a Muganda man, though I'm a Munyarwanda by tribe. So I'm a Ugandan, I'm a Munyarwanda Ugandan. So I'm from voting my president of Rwanda. You have seen all many people here. You cannot vote without this national ID of Rwanda.
Rwandans will go to the polls this Monday, July 15th, 2024. President Paul Kagame seeks a 4th term in office and faces challengers including Frank Habineza of Green Party and independent candidate Philippe Maimana.
Thank you so much, Samuel Senon. In more stories, Donald Trump was whisked off the stage at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, after apparent gunshots rang through the crowd. Now, Trump was showing off a chart of border crossing numbers when bangs started ringing through the crowd. Trump could be seen reaching with his right hand toward his neck. There appeared to be blood on his face. Here's more from VOA partners.
Hello, I'm VOS Jackson Vunganyi here with a quick update on what has been called an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump during a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Early Sunday, authorities said that they had identified the gunman involved in the attack as a 20-year-old named Thomas Matthew Crooks. The shooting occurred just after Trump took the stage at 6 p.m. local time, and analysts said that it raises some critical questions about the security protocol at political events, especially political rallies involving high-profile candidates. Analysts say again that despite the already extensive security measures at such rallies, there is likely going to be a thorough review of existing security protocols, and perhaps we could see more stringent measures when candidates are campaigning to ensure their safety and that of the public. So what could be some of the consequences of this? Now, analysts are saying that this incident could influence voter sentiments and impact the dynamics of the upcoming presidential elections. They are saying also that in a polarizing political environment, any threat to the life of a political candidate can really galvanize his supporters and potentially increase their resolve to turn out for their candidate. Conversely, it may also heighten tensions and divisions within the country, intensifying an already polarized political environment. In terms of the status of the investigation about this incident, authorities have indicated that the investigation could take some time, suggesting a complex and multifaceted inquiry to determine the motive behind the attack, also to determine whether the shooter acted alone or as part of a larger conspiracy. So far, authorities say that the shooter appears to have been working alone. But again, investigations are continuing, and we could learn more details in the coming hours and days. And again, many questions are being asked about what are the broader implications of this incident. For one, this is a stark reminder of the dangers of political violence, and in many ways, the extreme measures that some individuals are willing to take to achieve their goals, whichever their goals are. Again, in this case, the investigations are still continuing, and we hope to get more clarity on the incident. But what many analysts are saying is that this emphasizes the need for a collective effort on all sides of the political spectrum to address the root causes of such violence, including addressing some of the rhetoric around divisive political issues that cause social tensions, social divisions, and most likely the issue of mental health.
President Joe Biden said this Saturday that everybody must condemn the suspected assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, adding that he hoped to speak with him with his 2024 presidential rival soon.
I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people who, and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully and without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Now, the FBI has named the man as Thomas Matthew Crooks. Crooks is alleged to have opened fire while the former U.S. president was addressing a crowd in Butler, Pennsylvania, leaving one audience member dead and 2 others badly hurt. The 20-year-old kitchen worker was shot dead at the scene by a Secret Service sniper, officials said. Moving on from what is transpiring in the U.S., and we pray that President Donald Trump is okay, Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary and Conservation Trust has unveiled Diana Museveni, the new patron of Ngamba Chimpanzee Sanctuary, replacing First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, who has led the sanctuary since initiation. This was during the commemoration of World Chimpanzee Day, where she expressed total commitment to working with the leadership of Ngamba Island to conserve the chimpanzee and ensuring that they avert the declining number of chimpanzees in Uganda and the world at large. Diana Museveni called for collective efforts among the public in conserving wildlife and ensuring that their habitats are protected from encroachers and fight illegal poaching of wildlife.
One is crossing the hand.
On July 14th, 1960, Dr. Jane Goodall set foot for the first time on the shores of Gombe National Park in Tanzania. World Chimpanzee Day was created to commemorate this day 64 years ago. And we thank Dr. Goodall for the tireless efforts she and people like her have made in the last 6 decades to raise awareness about this unique species and to improve their welfare both in the wild and in captivity. The IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, has classified chimpanzees as an endangered species on the red list of threatened and endangered species. 100 years ago, there were between 1 to 2 million chimps across 25 countries on the African continent. Today, there are less than 350,000 chimps across Africa. As Dr. James said, the population of chimps here in Uganda in the wild is about 5,000. Population growth across the continent has led to the loss of habitat as we humans have been cutting down forests for agriculture and timber, which is the major cause of this decline in numbers. Poaching for bushmeat is another major threat to the survival of the chimps, as well as the illegal trafficking of infant chimps as pets or the sale of live animals headed to zoos around the world. The best way to ensure the conservation of our wildlife is to invest in ecotourism. Our tourism sector right now accounts for 7.6% of our GDP and 6.7% of employment. Our wildlife is our biggest tourism product. The more we invest in our tourism, the more foreign exchange we'll earn as a country, and the more of a vested interest we'd have to conserve our wildlife.
Today on World Chimpanzee Day, we are very happy and excited to reveal to our country a new patron, Ms. Diana Charemera Museveni. Our patron has been Mama Janet Museveni since the opening of the sanctuary for the last 25 years. So it's only befitting that she named her successor, who graciously accepted. We formally asked her and she graciously accepted, and today she has even honored us with her presence as we reveal her to the country as our new patron. But also, incidentally, we have been able to launch our new logo. We've not had the logo for a while, but as we are trying to create more awareness so that people understand when we are talking about Chimpanzee Trust. What is Chimpanzee Trust? Many people don't know about the organization, even within the conservation work.
One of the heaviest costs we have is actually to feed and look after the chimpanzee welfare. When we were in the clinic there, you saw the work we do in terms of animal health checks. The drugs we use, for example, to work on those animals are not in this country. We have to import them. They have to be imported and cost quite a lot when it comes to feeding the animals and ensuring their utmost welfare. There are quite some costs involved, and we shall be taking you through all of that.
That was Diana Museveni, who is now the new patron of the chimpanzees in Uganda. The Vice President of Uganda, Major Retired Jessica Lupo, has saluted the late Major Patrick Opiyo Awanyi as a true patriot who has served Uganda and the army with dedication and loyalty until his death. Alupo has this Sunday joined hundreds of mourners in Waya district to witness the send-off ceremonies of late Wanyi, who died recently from Somalia while on a peacemaking mission.
It is 9 a.m. of Sunday, 14th July 2024, and mourners are arriving at Tange village, Porungo sub-county in Nwea district for the send-off ceremony of the late Major Patrick Opiyo Awanyi. The ceremony has been led by Right Reverend Sabino Odoki Ochan, the Bishop of Arua Diocese.
He will be able to see God face to face. Even when he has died, he will still be able to see God face to face. Such was the belief that the late Major Patrick was holding to.
Mourners cut across all walks of life.
Deputy Secretary General Mego Rosemary Namayanda.
Uganda People's Defense Forces commanders were in attendance.
I was going to retire, then they continue giving service to the country. But the Lord decided to take him. We leave it to him. I want once again to thank Our Excellency.
The family, friends and relatives bid farewell to the fallen hero.
Even when he was in Somalia, the widow talked about the children and the issue of school fees. Every time I received a message from him, it was about his children and school fees. Every time, he would keep reminding all of us about school fees for his children. Nothing else. He doesn't ask for anything but school fees for the children.
The government of Uganda was led by the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo.
On behalf of UPDF, on behalf of the NRM party, and on my own behalf, I extend condolences to the Right Honorable Todong Richard, the NRM Secretary General, and the entire family upon the loss of a brother and son. I also commiserate with the UPDF fraternity for losing a comrade and a fighter. The UPDF stands on the pillars of patriotism and Pan-Africanism. We have a historical mandate to defend the legitimate interests of the people of Uganda and Africa. Anyone who undermines the aspirations of our people by sowing division on the basis of tribes, religion, gender, etc. is our arch enemy. It is therefore our duty to fight and defeat the bankrupt groups that attempt to propagate the anti-people agenda on the African soil. The pro-people ideology of the UPDF has managed to usher peace, stability, unity, development, and socio-economic transformation in Uganda and other parts of Africa.
Awanyi has been eulogized as a person who ran his race diligently, ending his life while on duty in a peacekeeping mission in Somalia early this month.
He will be remembered for his courage and commitment to his country and the African continent. Therefore, the most befitting tribute and honor to his legacy is for all the pro-people forces to continue championing the ideals for which he died.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
South Sudan ambassador to Uganda, Margaret Daniel, has applauded Uganda for supporting South Sudanese who sought refuge in Uganda. The Speaker of South Sudan's Transitional National Legislative Assembly, Gemma Nunu Kumba, asked South Sudanese to embrace the freedom from liberation in shaping their identity. This was during the commemoration of the South Sudan 13th independence anniversary in Kampala district.
In January 2011, South Sudan voted for independence in a referendum where 98% of the population voted for separation from Sudan. July 9th, 2011, the country gained independence. After 13 years of breakaway, South Sudan has had challenges which have affected development and also struggle in service delivery. There seems to be insecurity and ethnic divisions. This week, the 13-year-old South Sudan remains the youngest state on the African continent under the leadership of President Salva Kiir. Today, the South Sudanese community in Uganda has celebrated the 13th independence anniversary in Kampala.
The independence anniversary always reminded us of the sacrifices made by many South Sudanese people who went through struggling in order to get us the independent country.
South Sudan ambassador to Uganda, Margaret Daniels, paid tribute to South Sudan's revolutionary leader, late Dr. John Garang, and all the independence heroes. Echoing the journey of South Sudan peace, Ambassador Margaret emphasized government's commitment towards economic transformation and peace restoration. She thanked Uganda for maintaining good relations with the South Sudanese who sought refuge in Uganda.
We hereby urge you to approach every situation with a positive attitude.
She further called upon the South Sudanese community in Uganda to embrace peace for continuity.
We are one nation, one people. Therefore, this celebration is a recognition that we have undergone a mileage of progress.
Uganda's Chief of Protocol, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Charles Sentongo, represented the government of Uganda at the event.
It's a day to reflect on the journey you have undertaken from 13 years ago, the challenges you have overcome, and the achievements you have made as a sovereign nation.
The Speaker of South Sudan Transitional National Legislative Assembly, Gemma Kumba, challenged South Sudanese to appreciate the history of the country towards liberation.
We stand united in our commitment to build a peaceful, prosperous, and vibrant South Sudan.
The President of South Sudanese Students' Union in Uganda called upon the South Sudanese government to harmonize with Uganda on issues relating to state documents and tuition charges. Natalie Namaku also called upon all South Sudanese students in Uganda to be disciplined.
We should not be considered as outsiders, but we should be considered as the members. And the issue of us paying in hard currency, I'm requesting if it can be stopped.
Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for ABC TV.
Moving on from that, 2 parish development model officers in Chitagwende district have been apprehended over extortion. The deputy RDC Chitagwende district, Mujenyi Vincent, says that the parish chief of Uzimiro in Buhanda sub-county and the LC2 chairperson are under custody.
We have started serious operations on PDM. So 5 arrested, 2. 1 parish chief of Bujumiro parish in Buhanda sub-county, Chitagwenda district, and her chairperson LC2 for extortion. What these people do, people have been crying and reporting that to consider somebody for PDM money, they have to first agree whether somebody can give something, and then they include that person on the list. So at least after thorough investigations and the proof, we had to go to the ground, and the people admitted. Those who had given any money, they admitted, and the one called John, chairperson LC2, also admitted. Just want to push a warning to all parish chiefs within Chitagwenda district. Whoever has been extorting money from the farmers should stop it immediately. And we are going to move all over the whole district investigating this issue. We shall arrest whoever plays around with the PDM program. This is a strategy to curb poverty out of our people. We cannot joke around with it.
Uganda People's Defense Forces prioritized affordable education to all children of soldiers from primary to secondary school level in all UPDF divisions across the country. The schools have served the intended core values of the vision of the Army. Our reporter Aruna Mtezasira spoke to the Defense Public Information Officer, Brigadier General Felix Kuleje, about the status quo of UPDF-funded Army schools in the country. Let's have the report.
In 1987, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni initiated Kadogo Army School in Mbarara to give formal education and rehabilitate former NRA child soldiers, commonly known as Kadogos, whose education had been interfered with during the 5 years NRA Bush War.
Kadogo School at the beginning was one, Mbarara, which is now Polytechnic, because it was purely for the Kadogos who were in NRA from the bush. These are children who were forced by the circumstances, having lost their parents to government forces all the time, ran into the NRA for protection.
After years of serving the purpose, the Kadogo Army School was phased out and transformed into a Polytechnic Institute.
But once we captured power, it was needed to return their childhoodness in them. And that's how this Kadogo School in Mbarara was created. To give them back childhoodness. Number 2, to enable them to go back to school because many had abandoned school and they joined the NRA.
Later, the Commander-in-Chief, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, initiated free education to benefit children of soldiers to study for free at primary and secondary level.
The President's vision was to enable soldiers have their children study for free. Hence the beginning of Army primary schools. And that time they were boarding. Because soldiers didn't have barracks, they were in a mobile. Army boarding schools were created in Jinja, in Masindi, in Igulu, in Mbarara, where we have established barracks so that children of soldiers could study and stay in school.
The Army schools like Nakasongola Army Senior Secondary School, Bombo Army School, and Masindi Army School provide affordable education to children of soldiers for holistic development.
10 years ago, the boarding section was phased out because the government had a policy that primary and secondary school should actually be non-residential because boarding section makes it more expensive to run. And our vision, the vision of our leadership was that we should have now tertiary institutions, tertiary education for soldiers' children, also for free. That's how we face that boarding section, to galvanize the resources to finance tertiary education for soldiers' children.
The foundation body as a UPDF, actually it is the only foundation body that puts money in their school.
Army schools have improved their standards and equally have attracted civilians from surrounding communities.
We are implementing the aspirations of the Fountain of Honor, his vision. Number 2, our schools are on an upward trajectory in performance, and I'm very sure that not so far from today, you will see us producing from our polytechnical schools young people with skills to survive on their own, whether it is home employment or not.
At the moment, UPDF has 36 primary schools, 11 senior secondary schools, 1 polytechnic, 1 medical school. Nakasongola Army School, Air Force Senior Secondary School in Entebbe, and Bombo Army School are among the oldest schools under UPDF.
It's about management, and last year our schools were performed very well. I'm sure you met the Chief of Education then. Now he's called the Joint Services Formal Education, Culture and Sports. They have performed very well. So it's about management. Communities around our establishments enjoy those facilities at no pay. Just like our children study at no pay, the children of civilians in those areas where we are also availing this education at no pay.
With several barracks being established, efforts are underway to have primary and secondary schools at all brigade headquarters. Brigadier General Felix Kraje says the army schools ensure that biological children of soldiers are given priority during admission.
Consolidating technical education for senior 4 and senior 6 leavers to begin with. And then 2, that requires resources. And we
The Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, is wholly owned by the government of Uganda and was established to safeguard and promote Uganda's commercial interests in the petroleum sector. UNOC has 2 subsidiaries, the Uganda Refinery Holding Company, URHC, which will hold a 40% stake in the 60,000 barrel per day refinery and manage the development of Kabalega Industrial Park, and the National Pipeline Company Limited, NPC, in charge of pipelines, storage, and downstream business ventures. This subsidiary holds 15% interest in the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, EACOP. EACOP is a 1,445-kilometer long pipeline that will transport crude oil through 10 districts in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania. UNOC is also actively engaged in crude oil exploration, development, and production activities, and its participation role includes a 15% stake in the Tilenga, Nwoya, and Bulisa, and Kingfisher Development Projects, Chikure. UNOC also holds the exploration license for Kasuruban Block in Hoima, Bulisa, and Masindi. UNOC currently owns and manages the Jinja Storage Terminal and will build a 320 million litre capacity terminal in MPG called the Kampala Storage Terminal. At UNOC, we're harnessing the potential of Uganda's petroleum resources, forging a sustainable future and preserving the natural beauty of Uganda. UNOC, your partner in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyenyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanya eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together, we're unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby junior jelly.
Though dried their targets and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby junior jelly. Baby junior the skin. No more worries anymore. Baby junior.
Baby junior.
Predict the outcome of 10 football games and win big with tickets at only 500 shillings. Play for this Friday's draw to stand a chance to win big with Sports Take 10.
Buy your tickets at nationallottery.go.ug to download the app or simply dial *278#.
Ugandan National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha, still with Mugerwa on sign language. Now, government has launched the St. Teresa demonstration farm in Mugarama Sub-County, Chibale District for distributing free high-quality piglets as state capital to the Hoima Catholic Diocese community. Of course, according to the Microfinance Support Center, this Piggery Seed Capital Program for various associations is a strategic intervention to accelerate sustainable socio-economic empowerment in the Bunyoro-Kitara region.
Time has come to boost community finance with financial support from the Microfinance Support Center, a demonstration piggery farm in collaboration with the Catholic Diocese of Hoima has been launched in the district of Chibale, Bunyoro. The project supports faith-based organizations in eradicating poverty, redistribute wealth and improve the quality of life for communities in the greater Bunyoro-Kitara region. During the launch, high-quality piglets of a good breed were distributed to community associations. The area member of parliament who officiated at the launch appealed to the recipients to embrace the project, urging the first beneficiaries to deliver good results to encourage others to participate, highlighting that the major goal is for the beneficiaries to multiply the piglets they receive so that more members of their community can benefit. These piglets are intended to be a capital seed for future growth.
In my view, as a leader, this is the right project, it's well placed, and to thank Microfinance Support Center and Hoima Catholic Diocese, because it is through this kind of interventions that we can be able to deliver our people out of poverty, and it is possible.
Chibale District RDC advised all recipients of piglets to utilize them for wealth creation purposes. He emphasized that his office, along with other security operatives, will monitor the beneficiaries in the district to ensure proper implementation of the project.
I request whoever has benefited from 100 pigs, which we have given out today, he shouldn't sell any, because I'm going to follow up with colleagues in security, the DSO, the DPC. We are going to follow up to cross-check whoever has benefited from this program.
The Microfinance Support Center partnership with faith institutions could be a strategic approach to reach out to communities for wealth creation and mass sensitization. By boosting the incomes of the active poor, this strategy aims to generate wealth at the individual and household levels through various enterprises, which can also create jobs for the community.
It's going to be able to serve worth 5,000 households. They will be able to benefit from here. We've started with 600 that have already been trained within the 19 to 20 groups, or what we do call associations that have already been trained and identified. And so I must say it is a worth investment
for us. And the multiply effect from that to this whole region is really very big.
This launched piggery initiative is crucial for achieving sustainable socio-economic transformation among the Banyoro communities in Bunyoro Kitara. Bella Masangano and Robert Bwaita, UBC News.
Did you miss the recent Sifan Crusades? Don't worry, Christ for All Nations bring you 7 crusades closer to you. Powerful divine deliverance from bondages, yokes and curses, salvation of souls, family restorations and miraculous healings. Don't miss Kampala Baga District, Tororo, Pabo, Kaliro, Masindi, Soroti and Bidibidi Refugee Camp Crusades from June 24th to July 15th, 2024. Come and receive your miracle.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and lastly in our sports segment, Uganda Olympic Committee's Medical and Anti-Doping Commission has visited the National Athletics Camp in Kapchora. The team is in readiness for the Paris 2024 Olympics that comes about in 12 days.
The Uganda National Athletics team in camp at Trinity Biblical Institute in Kapchora is going through final paces ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics.
See you when you get back, eh?
These athletes are training at various venues, notably the National High Altitude Training Center in Teriet.
There's an interesting feature. The running track has a gradient on it, which is quite interesting, and one might think it's a wrong architectural setup, but actually it's interesting. They're trying to simulate uphill running on one side and downhill running on the other side, therefore simulating uphill for strength and conditioning, and then downhill for relaxation and going downhill to go faster.
On the Dover visit, a team led by Jacob Kiplimo was at Teriet that looked pristine and well embraced by both national team and upcoming runners. Kiplimo, who was under the watchful eyes of his private coaches, spoke fondly ahead of the games and importantly gave the center's availability a nod.
I think now the border is now coming right now, because now we are remaining like 3 weeks now. I think the border is it's not bad. I think actually sometimes it is good for endurance, and especially when you are doing like the sprinting, like 400 meters is good for the body. Yeah.
Also in training at the center were the girls, including Joy Cheptoek and Belinda Chemutai, under the guidance of Coach Peter Chelangat.
The team is good. We are training here, and I am seeing that our team is in good shape. And therefore, we believe that during the Paris Games, they will do well for this country.
About 35 kilometers away from Teriet, and to be precise, at Chemwani, a primary school in Kwen district, Joshua Cheptegei and others went through their training session. Here, national team head coach Benjamin Injia explained why the teams alternate in bunches and train at both Teriet and Chemwania.
We are using both Teriet and Chemwania, which is low altitude, and Teriet is a high altitude for both the track sessions. So we alternate. Of course, basically, the Teriet High Altitude Training Center is basically for endurance training. And of course, you know, it is the high altitude, and this is a low altitude. Kwen is a low altitude, and this is where we come for also speed play.
At Chemwania is also where Olympics steeplechase champion Peruth Chemutai trains.
Actually, I'm looking forward for Paris. I need to defend my title in Paris. Yeah. My training is going well. Everything is going well. I thank my coaches because they give me a lot of morale, encouragement. Yeah, everything, yeah.
Also available at this training session is Ade Roita, who is the private coach for both Peruth Chemutai and Joshua Cheptegei.
You know, when the Olympics are coming, everybody is very motivated. It is only once in 4 years, so yeah, the atmosphere is very good.
The accessibility here allows fans to follow the procession with optimism of podium finishes at the Olympics from their home boys and girls.
I'm Natasha Chebet, watching Joshua Cheptegei training at Chemwania. Then we have hopes in him. He may win the best again.
After their respective training sessions, the players adhere to medical assessment and anti-doping education by a team from Uganda Olympic Committee.
One of the components of the anti-doping education that we bring out is about a list of prohibited substances. Sometimes they take in these substances not knowing the consequences, not knowing whether they are on the prohibited list or not. So this kind of sensitization is very, very important. As we are interacting with them, they are actually asking very pertinent questions.
But we must say that they're in really good shape. And the assessments have gone well. Every athlete has been cooperative. We've been able to identify just a few injuries, and we already have set programs to manage this.
All the 17 athletes at this camp, including Commonwealth and World Marathon champion Victor Kiplangat, were part of the sessions.
Right now, the training is going well, and I'm ready for the marathon.
Uganda will at the Olympics have 25 athletes, including 21 runners, a cyclist Charles Kajimu, a rower Kathleen Nobo, and 2 swimmers Jessie Sengonzi and Gloria Muzito. The games officially start on 26 July 2024, with the rower Kathleen Nobo the first in action for Uganda that won 4 medals, including 2 golds last time out.
In more sports news, the Corporate Games, which is an entity that organizes sports competition among corporate bodies, has hosted its 5th outing at the Dove Stadium in Luzira.
The Corporate Games, which is responsible for organizing corporate bodies into sports, continues to be the go-to place every second Sunday of the month. For July, like has been the case before, action has been at the Dove Stadium in Luzira, where more than 35 companies took part. The highlight of the day was the launch of the corporate run, whose proceeds are earmarked for mothers in maternity at several health center 3s.
And we run for a cause together as corporate companies. This year, we've chosen to run for expectant mothers. And we have promised that all proceeds that come out of this, with the partnership with the different sponsors that will come on board, will go towards supporting health center 3s in the different regions by Mama Kids. And that's the reason why we are running.
Participants took part in athletics, football, netball, and aerobics. The next outing at which chief executive officers take part is expected to offer enough thrills.
Running the 7th outing. The 6th outing, which is the next outing, will have the CEO Corporate Games outing, and for that purpose, in the CEO Corporate Games outing, we will focus on making sure we mobilize funds, mobilize members to participate in the corporate run. What will happen in the CEO outing is that all CEOs of different corporate companies will participate in the different disciplines and will be communicating which disciplines are there.
The Corporate Games is a contest in more than 10 disciplines, including swimming, cycling, tug of war, fun games, volleyball, chess, and woodball. It has more than 35 companies, including Uganda Airlines, Uganda Medical Association, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Total Energies.
And lastly, the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association ball games 2 have entered match day 5 at Teso College, Aloet in Soroti. Take a look.
Here on court 5.
The Uganda Secondary School Sports Association ball games to entered the last stage of group games today, with teams securing slots to the round of 16 in netball and volleyball. In boys volleyball, defending champions as Standard High School Zana failed to make it past the group stages, with Inter School beating Kinawa 2-0 for both teams to go through from Group A. Other boys teams that made it to the round of 16 include Bukedbia Comprehensive, Hilton, St. Augustine Minor Seminary, St. Jerome, Iwanda SS, Namugongo Vocation, Namagoma, and Imbogo Mixed. The girls volleyball teams that are through are defending champions St. Elizabeth Imbarara, Seroma Christian High School, Iganga SS, Mariam High, Namagabi SS, Katikamu SDA, Nabisunsa, Amus, Kinawa, Immaculate, Maryhill, Bukedia Comprehensive, and Tororo Girls.
From Seroma, yes. First Seroma, so far boys and girls who have no losses. Yeah, we're doing well. But for now, boys are playing. But we are going to play next. We're expecting a win. Yeah, expecting a win. God should help us. Yeah. So what we're expecting to reach the quarterfinals. We're expecting to lead in our group stages.
In netball, it was a struggle for the top two positions in each of the 8 groups, where holders Kitende won all their group games to top Group A, with Budo SS and Kibuli also through. Gombe, St. Noah, St. Kalemba and Nile High were some of the other teams through.
We are blessed and one, God is grace. We've overcome the adversity and we have really achieved to win all the games in group stages. We are looking up to playing kickoffs on tomorrow. We are probably playing a round of 16 and 8. I don't know how the administrators are planning to. But for us, the players, we are ready mentally, physically, because we have the best coach and we believe that God is our savior.
In boys 3x3 basketball, Seroma, Budo Senior Secondary School, Mbogo, Amus College, Kibuli and St. Cyprian kept their hopes alive, while in the girls Kitende, Seroma, Nabisunsa, Kibuli and St. Noah were also leading. In boys handball action, Mbarara High School defeated Seta High School Green Campus 11-9. Bishop Komboni College edged Ocha Champion School 10-5, while Ntare School outlasted Maruzi Seed Secondary School.
Suddenly, we lost to Namakwa, who became the champions, as we had left and said, may the best team win. We just had a few issues here and there. When we went for the attacks, the boys refused to score, though we had a very good defense system.
Kakungulu Memorial, Kawanda SS and Soroti SS all won their games.
I've managed to win this game because we stole the balls and we were strong, even if the team was also strong. And we are willing that next time we are going to win another game.
That's all we had for you this evening. Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Mugalu Mohammed on Sign Language. Do join me again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way. Stay tuned for more programming. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Faith, love, miracles.